And we are live. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Watch your mouth review. So I just noticed my microphone was not on, y'all. Sorry. I don't know what the hell's going on around here, but that's okay. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you now. At first it was like muffly, but now I can hear you clearly.
Okay. Oh, what the hell's going on? My microphone's not on.
Things happen, boo. But I can hear you now as you're talking.
Okay, we're gonna try our best. Hopefully, you guys, this is not too bad. Hopefully, I'm not echoey. Hopefully, I don't know why my microphone's not coming on, but we'll live to fight another day. This is James from the Watching My Reviews channel. Thank you guys for being here. Like the video as you come in. Shout out to my girl, Mrs. Best, who is here with me as well. Please subscribe to her channel. Say hey, Mrs. Best.
Hi. I'm happy to be here. I hope everybody subscribes to the Watch Your Best Friends channel. Also, I will be on and off camera. I am still on the clock. You can't see, but there's a computer in my hand. But I'm happy to be here. I'm happy Salt Lake City is over. What's popping, Kevin Reynolds? Welcome in.
Kevin Reynolds, thank you for being here as I'm finishing up trying to get my shit together here. I thought I had more time. All right. Okay, how's that? Is that better?
It's a little better.
Okay. Ooh, y'all, this technology not gonna get me, y'all. This technology not gonna get me. So this is Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. Y'all, this is reunion part 3, and I'm gonna be honest with y'all, they could have kept this. They could have kept this. They could have just, gave us 2 parts and just be done with this, because I cannot believe we spent almost 30 minutes on this Meredith versus Brittany bullshit. I am so over these ladies. I'm so over this. So I'm going to do my best, y'all, to cover everything. But if I skip over stuff, sorry. But I'm only going to talk about the stuff that actually entertained me. So, we open up where we left off, which is Brittany being accused of being a bigot. And, she gets overly hysterical. She is crying. I can't believe they do this to me. I did nothing wrong. So she storms off the stage. She has somebody consoling her in her room. She says, I just need a minute. She says, I can't believe this. I don't do anything to anybody. And I'm just like, okay, y'all. I'm not trying to be empathetic or not empathetic with Brittany, because I can understand if someone accused you of being something that have damaging ramifications on your lifestyle and everything. I totally get it. Not trying to take that away from her. However, if you didn't do anything wrong and someone accused you of doing something and you didn't do it, I don't know what you would be crying for. I don't understand. What are you crying about? Like, why did that get you so hysterical? Like, why did you have to make that a moment? I would have told Meredith, you used the motherfucker too for your nails and did shit. The same way you found out about him and his, ways of life is the same way I found out about it. And yes, I needed someone to send me something that he did because he didn't come off that way. Listen, y'all, there is nothing wrong, in my opinion. Nothing wrong wanting to see information and details for yourself, especially if you just gave someone either some money or some clarity or something. There's nothing wrong with wanting to see the information of what was being said, so that way you can make a proper assessment. I didn't really blame Brittany for that. Now, what I do blame Brittany for is letting Meredith make that narrative for her and not point the same finger at Meredith, because Meredith is just as guilty to me. That was the same shit to me. I'm sorry. Meredith is just as guilty as Brittany if that's the case. Meredith supported this man, because we don't know how long Meredith had been using this man before he put him in Brittany's path to use this herself. So I'm sorry. I thought Brittany was very weak for that. So when she comes back out on stage after Mary and Meredith are having their conversation, she tells, Meredith, we're done. I'm sorry for, what happened, but we're done. I don't have nothing else to say to you. Everyone's confused because we were like, okay, what happened here? Why are we jumping to this part? And Whitney was like, okay, but I really liked Mary and Meredith's conversation. Like, I feel like we were getting somewhere. And I said, Whitney, we weren't getting anywhere with that. Mary can't get through to Meredith. Nobody can get through to Meredith. Meredith is on Team Meredith right now. The only thing that Mary was trying to do was to get Meredith to see from everyone else's point of view that even though you were venting to Lisa according to you, you did it in a way where it was elevated, where we all could hear you. We all did not know what was going on. And from our standpoint, because Brittany was sitting in front of you and hearing this and getting emotional because you're talking about her, it looked to be like you were trying to bully her on the plane. That's all really they had to say. It's like, I mean, looks can be deceiving. Everyone's perception could be different. And this is why recording things are important. So that way we can have what really happened versus their version and then Meredith and Lisa's version. So that's really all I'm gonna say about that, because that shit annoyed me, because I felt like we ain't getting nowhere with this shit. I feel like they kept saying the same exact thing, no matter who the camera was panning to, no matter who was trying to explain it. It was annoying. So, Mrs. Best, I have a couple questions for you. Hopefully you're available, because I know you're still on the clock here. Sorry, to be intruding on your work time.
I'm here.
Okay. So one, how did you feel about Brittany's performance as Kevin Reynolds said in the comments? I had to laugh at that. Hi, Naya. Thank you for being here. How did you feel about Brittany's performance? That's the first question. I'll let you answer that first before I get to my second question.
I did not care, because when she was, if I'm upset that somebody's calling me a bigot, I'm not going to be crying about how everything I said was true. I'm going to be crying about how I don't understand how someone could think that I'm anti-Semitic or something like that. So she don't care about that part. I think Brittany's full of it. I've been thought this about Brittany. I'm also one who's not the most fazed by the tears of the colorless. So there's that. As it relates to, what was the next question?
My next question would be, where Andy told, when Andy said that it seems like the fans really rallied behind Mary and saw her point of view of the truth of what happened on that plane. Why do you feel that they were still trying to prove this event with Meredith happening, and Meredith is still repeatedly saying that she just vented to Lisa? Like, why do you think that we're stumbling upon this truth? Like, at this point that we're in the third part and we're still going through this?
I think I've said this the whole thing. I think everybody is lying to a certain extent, Mary included. I think everybody is lying. I do think that everyone is also telling a piece of the truth. I think that Meredith did too much, but I don't think she did too much in the sense that she could get put off of a plane. But she clearly did too much to where it was noticeable. I do agree with Meredith. If you truly act a plumb fool on a plane, air marshals, flight attendants, the people who be sitting on the plane waiting for one of us to F up looking regularly, they would have stopped her, but they didn't. But that doesn't mean that she didn't do anything. So I'm kind of annoyed that it's convenient that not production, not the cast, not anybody in the day of technology took it upon themselves to record it, in addition to the other members of first class or the flight crew. Nobody recorded this. So that leads me to believe that everybody is lying. The other thing is, if Brittany had cried this damn tough just from being called a bigot, that tells me Meredith could have a bad thought in this bitch and make it look like she has been stabbed, wronged, and persecuted. So if this was about anybody else, I would care more. I would believe it more. But at this point, with no proof, you're all lying. Because Brittany cried because the sun ain't come out today.
That was a little too dramatic for me. I'm sorry. Like, there's no way I would have cried like that over something that somebody else did and would probably be just as guilty as I did for using the services of, this man who's anti-Semitic. That, I'm sorry. Meredith is just as guilty. Sorry. I don't care that this goes against her religion or the man was coming against her religion. You used the man's services as well. Mildly convenient that you would send them over to Brittany, and then when the stories come out, then you plant the seed of Brittany being in support of this. I think that that's mildly convenient for you, Meredith, but that's okay. We're here to fight something else. So moving on from there, Andy was like, okay, so we're just going to lay this to rest. And as soon as Andy said we're going to lay this to rest, Angie says, okay, but Andy, I just want to say one more thing. how Brittany cried right now, it was actually worse. So if Meredith had did that to me, there would be an air marshal ready to arrest her when we got off the plane. I said, Angie, what the fuck is going on that side of the couch? Because why on God's green earth and in all this going on in this world, did you think that right now was the time to openly say that if it were you, you would have had an air marshal waiting for Meredith? That was so random and so stupid of her to even do that up on there. I was like, what the fuck is Angie on? Because why would you didn't wait till after Eddie said he gonna wrap this shit up so we can move on that you need to pipe up? I'm
because like I've been saying about Angie from the very beginning since we start recapping this show. Y'all know I did not like Angie for the longest. And
same.
She slowly almost warmed up to me at the end of the season with Monica, but she lost me again. And this is why she's just so freaking thirsty for a moment. It wasn't necessary for her to say it. It just wasn't. And then I'm like, Angie, you got to pick a lane because the type of Bravo fans that you're going to align with, talking about you would have sent the police after somebody, or the type of Bravo fans that you don't really want to deal with. But okay, she gonna tell.
Like Naya said, she wanted to have a moment because that was fucking random. That was stupid. So we then move on to Whitney. You know, Andy asked Whitney about, you know, her businesses and where is she in the state of that now. So Whitney said that she had to buy back all of her inventory and now she is the only sole owner of her business. The people out there who research all this, I need to see the receipts of that because that was mildly convenient now. So either the shit wasn't real to begin with or she did something crazy or spent a lot of money to have that. And I'm talking about money I don't feel like she even has to do that because that was very convenient that she was able to pull that out of her hat and now become the sole owner of the business. So either this wasn't to that degree that they were saying on the show or something, or I'm missing something. So I need someone to put that in my mindset. And Andy asked, do you still resent Justin? And she took a moment to answer this because you know her answer was going to say yes, but she said, no, I don't anymore. You know, me and Justin have been through worse and we'll get through this. And once again, I feel like that moment on that episode, now rethinking it and hearing her, I feel like she didn't mean to put that out on the show. So this is her moment to do damage control and now clean it up. And I feel like, to me, I don't like Whitney for doing this because say how you feel. Because you clearly are bothered by that question and you clearly are bothered and trying to go in a different direction because your husband is president and you don't want to make him look bad. But it's like, okay, either say he made a mistake and fucked up and yeah, I'm mad as hell at him, but we'll get through this. I would much rather say she's mad as hell at him for allowing her to do it and mad at herself for going along with it than to sit there and pause on her answer and just say, oh no, we've been through worse and we'll get through this and all this. I'm not buying any of this. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Whitney's answers to Andy's questions?
Like she needs to stop blaming her husband for her business.
I agree.
It's your business. You're accountable. You cannot blame somebody else for a bad business decision. If somebody advises you to do something and then what you've been advised to do does not work out, you cannot then blame it all on the person who advised you to do it because how you do what you have done has something to do with it as well. And Whitney just seems like, I'm sorry, she doesn't give me business savvy. She doesn't give me someone who's business smart. She doesn't really stand out on this cast much, in my opinion. So I feel like she just needs to take accountability. She probably didn't know what the hell she was doing. He probably issued some advice about the side of business that he understands, which is also different from what she was doing. I just hear a lack of accountability. I think Whitney has a lot going on in her personal life that she has not been sharing for some time. And I'm tired of her talking in circles and pausing and thinking out answers. Just give us the reality of your situation or go away.
I agree with that because to me, that just felt like you were trying to do damage control and clean up. You didn't know what you were doing. You thought this way would be the right way. And just say you fucked up and just say, you know, I should have known better, or I should have did better, or I should have been better educated for myself to not make a decision like that. But for her to sit up there and do all these dramatics and then walked off the stage talking about, I need to see Justin. I'm so sorry. And I love you. And he says, we're good. We're going to be good. And I'm just
Girl,
like,
whenever women feel the need to profess their love to their men publicly, notice it's always when the relationship ends. My man would never let me apologize and be in tears like that over him. He wouldn't. He wouldn't. It wouldn't be that damn deep. I'm like, what's going on in the house that this lady's in tears like that? Why did he have to carry her colorless ass off of the BravoCon stage? Where is they child? Why we ain't seeing so much of the little redheaded girl? She's cute to me on the screen no more. Like, there's clearly a lot going on with Whitney and Justin. And I feel like it's because of the fact that their relationship, in my opinion, is based on a trauma bond. Especially it's based on materialism and a trauma bond. So, as you lose things, kind of have to face things. So I feel like there's a lot more going on with Whitney, but I don't know. I feel like she won't really show it, especially with Meredith and Heather on the cast. Because I feel like Heather is just as bad as what they accuse Lisa of, as it relates to like stirring plots, being online, talking to blogs. I feel like Heather's just as bad, but I'll digress for now.
yeah, I agree. So Andy then takes the point to this segment to say that, the reason why this show is so successful is because these ladies are showing their authentic lives. We see them being mothers, we see them being wives, we see them, being friends, and just there's a real big authenticity of realism on this show. And I think that that's why this show is so successful. I said, Andy, no. No, 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 no. The show is successful because y'all had a blogger that came on the show as a Real Housewife who outed all these women about talking to bloggers, exposing all their tea, and then they react to the shit and get mad. And then also you have another lady on the show whose church is all over the blogs about it being a cult, and people are curious to see if that's ever going to be confronted on the show. And they wait episode after episode for this. I think there's two things going on. Why the show became so successful.
I
That's
think
the
it has
only
nothing
thing.
to even do with that. I think that's giving Mary and Monica too much credit. This show got extremely popular. I think personally, after the situation with Jen Shaw's legal situation, it just did, especially after that scene where the police and whatnot was coming up there looking for her. That stuff went viral from People Magazine to TMZ to the local news. So I feel like between Jen Shaw, because that was also the same time we got the racist little Asian lady, between the racist people that they not doing background checks on this show, Brittany's non-mothering ass, married, they're dealing with an Osmond. Then you got Heather turning her back on Mormonism, the shadiness that is Mary's church, which is now being alleged to be a cult, as well as all the other things you listed. They're not really popular for giving us great reality TV. They're more so popular for giving us great scandals.
Yes.
Everybody on this show is either a criminal, affiliated with one, or they're connected to some racist bigot in some way, which is crazy because it's a show that's mostly based on people who are in religions. And you wouldn't think that you would be dealing with these types of things. But when Andy said that, I said, really?
I was dumbfounded.
Black Bravo kept Bravo alive.
Right. And we continuously
Tony died, DC's gone, Dallas Housewives didn't make it. Stop it.
I swear, I feel like Eddie don't give Atlanta the credit it deserves. And it's because he wants to give it to Beverly Hills. He really does. But you can't do that. You cannot, because none of them can give what Atlanta gave in its prime. I feel like for the first maybe, I'm going to say 8 seasons, maybe 9, Atlanta has been solid. The first 9 seasons of the show. Solid. Now, 10 is where it gets tricky. Where
Atlanta
I think they
started to die in my opinion, when Greg was sick, that season where he was dying. I felt
Which
like it
may
was
have been
doing
season
okay.
11. Yeah.
It may not have been his heyday, but you're absolutely correct, because that was around season 10 where the dynamic started to change. It wasn't so fun to
Yes.
watch because Nene was on there acting a fool, which is why
Mm-hmm.
I want Nene back on TV, but not full time, because I remember the Nene we got when she was leaving and I did not like it. But yeah, Atlanta really had over 10 seasons of great success, and it started to go left when Nene acted a fool and Greg passed. So
Yeah. And a
yeah.
part of, and we're going to explain this in this series because they brought it up too. And a part of why I think the shows are not successful is because the cast has hands in production.
Mm-hmm.
Teleproduction, what they're not going to do, teleproduction, they're not going to do this. Instead of production just setting them up and then setting up the camera and then watching their full reaction. That's one of the things that I actually like Carlos King for when he did season 5 of Real Housewives of Atlanta when Portia and Kenya came on, is that he just surprised them and then just let the cameras go. So I think that that's another thing that they're missing, is that element of it being a natural reaction. So when he said that, I was like, I don't feel that same way. I just feel like you just have dedicated fans who, one, probably love Heather, love Mary, love Bronwyn, love Whitney, like I love Lisa. I think you just have dedicated fans that are going to watch to see the element of fuckery we're going to get from them. But I don't think that's, like, when we talk about storylines, I don't think this cast has solid storylines. I just don't.
This cast has never given solid storylines, and this cast also struggled. If the only reason people start to watch your show is because of scandal, you're just not that interesting. I don't know. I just also feel like some of the ways that this cast behaves are, in my opinion, dangerous if you view it from like a reputation standpoint, like how Lisa's getting dragged from The View to Ben Affleck. When you pretend to have more than you actually do and let the relevance you think that you have go to your head, it's
Right.
interesting. So I would like to see Salt Lake City Housewives have a cast shakeup after this season. I know some people feel like the dynamic of what they have works now, but it really doesn't, because if it did, we wouldn't have multiple seasons of Salt Lake City where we're constantly getting new housewives, new friend doves, new things like that. So they definitely need to change the cast. Like Heather can go separate from anything we know about Heather and the scandal and how we feel about Heather. Think of it this way. This lady got skinny and got boring. I'm saying what I'm saying. Please don't cancel me, but the bitch was more interesting when she was fat. I said what I said. Now Heather done shrunk. She getting so much plastic surgery. She's looking like a ventriloquist doll. She doesn't have anything to show. Her daughters are doing good. They're thriving. They're not in scandal. She's not dating on TV. She's not being a friend to nobody on TV. So I'm just kind of like, why is she here? She has to go. She has to go. She does. If they don't change this cast, it's going to end up like all
Flopping.
the other.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to flop.
It is. Flop. It's going to be like Real Housewives of Potomac. It's going to flop. Like Real Housewives of Potomac would save Real Housewives of Potomac with Stacey. I'm just going to keep it real with y'all. And maybe a little bit of Angel. That's what saved Real Housewives of Potomac the previous 2 seasons was, you know, and that's crazy that y'all will put all that on one person to get a cast full of women to allow them to target one person. And they're doing it here with Meredith. They are. I don't, you know, it's isolated. Obviously, it's apples and oranges. But what I'm saying is that they are letting the women pick one target, question everything she does, from the business to the man to the kids to the everything, and then wanting reaction. And when she loses her fucking mind, which I think Stacey, she never did, it then becomes like, oh, look at her, she's this, she's that, and that's the strategy, and that strategy is old now. Because I never thought it was funny, because they did it with everybody. They did it with Karen when Karen was on Real Housewives of Potomac and Ray had them tax issues. They made Karen the scapegoat. They did it with Candace on Real Housewives of Potomac. Then from Candace, they moved on to Wendy, and then it's kind of like they keep circling, doing it to people, and I feel like that does not work. That strategy does not work anymore. So when Andy says that,
It's played out and it's done across every show that involves a cast that has to intermingle versus like documentary style reality TV, like 90 Day or Love During Lockup. Like it's played out. The Gang Up is boring. Listen, I'm a child of the 90s, okay? I dealt with enough bullying and all that bullshit. I don't need to see it on TV as well, especially with a bunch of colorless women that really only attractive because of their makeup and style choices. I cannot, I can't, I can't. It was too many tears. This reunion. They cried from the beginning of this reunion. Somebody was fucking crying to the very fucking last moment of this reunion. And if you really look at the reasons that people was crying, nothing was happening that doggone deep that nobody didn't see coming. I'm looking like I'm sick of it, James.
It was no way. Yeah. So moving on from there, Andy asked Brittany why was she so upset when Meredith got a call from her son Brooks. And Brittany said that because Meredith was trying to absolve herself from having responsibility from her behavior. And if it had been me who did that, then everybody would have been in uproar. And everyone's like, Meredith always does that. I think it was Whitney. Whitney said Meredith always does that. Like she always looks for a moment to disengage and then come back to try to finish the conversation. And then it lands on, awkwardness because now we have to feel bad for whatever it is she just went through on the phone or whatever situation she has. Meredith is very strategic in doing that. And Meredith said, it's not me, it's production. Production edits it that way to make it look like that because I was fine with having the conversation. And Whitney says, see, I don't like that she does that. I don't like that she throws production under the bus to absolve responsibility for what she does. And even Meredith's like, yeah, Meredith, that's not cool. You don't blame production for that. Like, man, what is a production is great to us, Meredith. They are good. They're always fair. And Meredith said, Whitney, whatever your name is. And then she could even just get her sense out because Meredith knows she's full of shit. But when she said Brittany or Whitney, I fucking hollered because I said, damn, not you getting the lady's name wrong. But I feel like for me, I do think that is a slap in the face to production. And production, this is where y'all need to have some bigger balls than what y'all have when it comes to these women.
A slap in the face to production would be the big white lady that got small lying and saying that somebody on production could have given her a black eye for years and years, then coming out later to tell the truth only after it was exposed that she was feeding shit to Reality Von Teese as well, and she used it to deflect. But I'll digress.
That's you're right, because that is true. That is all of what they do saying, is a slap in the face.
Why are we gonna feel sorry for production when production let this lady lie on them about something as legitimate as assault, and she's still here? Now we supposed to feel sorry for production? Absolutely not.
I know, I got you. I do. Natasha Cooper said, you need a villain without Heather and Whitney. This show will be boring. Meredith and Brittany can go get us 2 or 3 new girls. That way Lisa, but we'll have to stand on her own 2 feet and she can go too.
Honey, Heather can be a friend of. Because she doesn't even want to lean into being a villain. If she could lean into being a villain, then I could see your point. But Heather wants to be looking like the good girl, the angel, the soul of the group. She wants to be the queen mother of this group when she's the one in the background causing most of the problems. And if Heather's just going to be playing these messy little games, then she can be the Marlo Hampton of this and just be a friend of that's very relevant and hear a lot.
Yeah, I agree with that because to me,
outside of the group, she has nothing to show other than an old mattress.
Yeah, because it's very easy to Giselle Bryant your way of throwing rocks and hiding your hands, or easy to point the finger at the weak link of the group and then try to, get them to go into some type of monstrosity of fear of you. So that way they just throw tantrums and shit on the show. It's easy to do that. But what do you have in your own life that warrants that? Like, what do you have going on? Where is your man? Like, you say you were dating. Why haven't you showed that? So yeah. Naya said it's slick social tactic to deflect off of the real lives and real stories that are happening. It is absolutely. You were responding. Okay. Kevin Reynolds said, giving Angel Massey any credit or little credit to rebirthing Real Housewives stomach is hell to the now, knock it off. That's not what I was doing. So I want to make sure I'm clear.
Didn't flop so bad this season, the Housewives of Potomac, we would not have any form of entertainment that was enjoyable, because the pile up on Stacy at times, it's like, this isn't cute, this not fun, you get mad. But then you have Angel fucking up, coming and talking about how she don't like fish. and you have to just laugh. You have This is what she had, one of the worst freshman seasons to reality television I think I've
Yes.
watched across any network. And I watched some ignorant shit. But Angel, she really came in and just fucked up all of the church's pieces of change. And she's
She
still
really did.
fucking up the money. She can't find it.
Yeah, and that's why I said it was like Real Housewives of Potomac this last season. Stacy, I'm gonna give full credit for her because she saved the franchise. Everything was about Stacy. Did she sleep with Chris Samuels? Did she not? Is she back with Timo? Is she not? Did she have this business or she doesn't? Did she go to Jazzy wedding because of Ashley and Wendy, or did she not? It was always this: Stacy, 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 Marsha, Marsha, Marsha. I got tired of it. So that's why I said I'm gonna give credit to Stacy and a little bit of Angel because they took it off of her and put it on Angel. That's all I'm gonna say.
It's a
So that's
special
all.
type of talent to be that underwhelming. That is
Right.
Angel. Okay.
Exactly. You said it. Hey, Keywan, thank you for being here. We appreciate you guys. Subscribe to Keywan's channel. Her information is in my description box. She doesn't do this show particularly, but she does other Bravo shows. She does a slang of reality TV.
Salt Lake City.
Keywan, do you do Salt Lake City? Because I don't recall you doing Salt Lake City. If you do, I apologize. I don't recall that. But subscribe to her anyhow, anyway, because she does great shows. And her content, she is hilarious. She need to be a comedian part-time. She really does. In my opinion, Lisa is always standing on her own. She's fine on her own island.
Yes, the island of delusion.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to banter with Lisa because Lisa lives in a world where she knows Ben Affleck but don't really know him because he can't confirm that. He don't recall ever meeting that lady.
When she was crying on that boat, and I seen all the fish looking like they just wanted to come nibble at her feet, and she's just crying on the boat. I said, "Oh Lord."
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Hey, Brahman just confirmed that her and Meredith are coming back next season. Go, Joy. Joy.
Honestly, after this season, if Meredith didn't come back, it wouldn't make sense. But if they bring her back and she's still giving nothing and deflecting, you're wasting a check, Bravo, on a headache at that.
Okay, so I think this is Keywan's response to Salt Lake City. I think. Yes. Whitney broke down because she's trying to secure that bag. She near broke, so she here to come. The waterworks. Oh yeah, I already knew what that was.
Tasha, you better clock it all because
yes.
Let me tell you this. Clear people do not do well when their account balance hits below a certain amount. Okay? Let me tell you what we gonna do. Us beautiful melanated people, we gonna figure it the fuck out and make lemonade. She's going to cry, drink. That's why she was wandering around drunk as fuck at BravoCon. She is crashing out. It's an extended crash out. That's all Whitney's going through.
Let me tell y'all something. This next season of season 7 now guarantees them to be making, 6 to 7 figures now. Now they can start making the real money. And because they broke 100 episodes, they now go into syndication, which gives them royalties. So yeah, Whitney trying to make sure she get this check Rolling in.
Barbie said she picked a sugar daddy with no sugar. I love y'all.
Wait. Hell no. Bonita Barbie, where have you been? I don't know if I've ever seen you on my channel before, but I love you. I hope you subscribe. We need you here. You are so needed.
If you swap Whitney and Bronwyn, because I feel like Bronwyn wants a Justin that will hold her when she cries and still support her, even when she done acted a fool. And Bronwyn wants a Todd. Or not Bronwyn, but Whitney wants a Todd. She don't want to see you. She ain't trying to deal with you. She'll bust it low, drop it wide, climb the pole. Just give her a credit card. They need to swap spouses as quiet as it's kept.
I keep telling you, I know why Whitney is with Justin. I keep telling you what it is. And she's not going to leave him like that. Like, he got to do some crazy ass shit. Like, I wouldn't say he would necessarily have to cheat, but he has to do something crazy for her to leave him. She's not going anywhere. And so, yes, but we done got sidetracked too much, y'all. I appreciate this. I do. I love it. Yes. Yes.
Let me be nice to these
Oh,
people.
Lord, yeah, no, we ain't no, because they gave us this boring ass 3-part reunion that we got to recap. So after Meredith accuses, production of, and Andy's, telling her, what did you accuse them of this time? So this is something that she does regularly. So we clearly saw that. And Lisa pipes up, when I was on that boat, wait a minute. And everybody looking like, oh shit, here she go with these damn dramatics and shit. When I was on that boat, everyone came after me. Nobody had my back. Everybody was coming after me, calling me the source, saying I did this, saying I did that. And Mary said, well, Lisa, you have to understand, where's all this information going? Mary, I don't fucking know where this information will come from. Don't come from me. I told you, I don't know. I'm not the fucking source. I didn't say it. I'm not going to say it again. And Mary said, calm down, babe. It ain't that serious. Calm down. But I'm trying to help you. Mary had me crack up. She said, calm down. I'm trying to help you. Calm down. Because you're getting beside yourself. I don't know who the fuck you pointing that finger at. But calm down. Calm your ass down now. She goes, no, I'm fucking sick of it. I'm sick of it. And Heather was like, listen, I called you the source information. I'm not backing down from this. I have proof that you did some shit, and I'm not going to let you get away with it. I'm sorry. I still want to be your friend. How astonishing is that? And I said, Heather, that is where you lost me. You never had me to begin with, but that is where you lost me. The fact that you can clearly say out your mouth, yeah, I'm accusing you of all this shit. Yeah, I think you're wrong. Yeah, I think you're the bad guy. Yes, I think you're this, and that. But I still want to be your friend regardless.
Like, what is, what, What?
Why?
This is why I make friends with people on the internet. It's just easier because what? How you don't like the way someone move, don't like how they handle conflict, don't like how they move when you cool, you feel like everything's about them, you complain about them a whole season, but you still want to be her friend? I know Heather's a pick me, but bitch, go pick some dick or a hobby. This is getting out of hand.
I was flabbergasted when that came out of her mouth. I said, wow, Heather, you still ain't learned? This is not fucking high school. What the hell are you talking about?
Even in high school.
I didn't want to be friends with Gretchen Wiener. Not Gretchen. I didn't want to be friends with Regina George. I didn't. I didn't feel like all that. I just didn't. I didn't want to be friends with Regina, and I didn't want to be friends with Gretchen. Them two gave me a headache the whole fucking movie. So I damn for sure don't want to be friends with no damn Lisa Regina George Jr. and Meredith Gretchen Wieners. I definitely don't want to be friends with them two. So for Heather to sit her ass up on that stage and actually fathom the words out of her mouth, I was lost. I said, oh, hell no, Heather, you done lost your fucking mind.
Like, behave.
I gotta read these comments. I'm behind. But Mrs. Miss, how'd you feel when Heather said that? Like, I know I had to stop right there mid-sentence because I was so confused.
Honestly, with Heather, I've learned to tune her out. I just kept looking. I was like, is it me or is her neck, like her chin, it has elongated?
Yeah, she looked like the moon.
I don't understand why her chin is so long. And that's all that I really have to say about Heather.
So Keywan, so did they talk about the bullying on the plane? So I don't know if you were in my live earlier, Keywan. We had said that there was no resolve because Meredith is sticking with her story. The ladies are saying their story, and no one could meet in the middle of what really happened, what really took place. So we don't know if there was actually bullying. Yeah, we don't know if there was actually bullying on the plane or not because everybody's story is completely different. Of what happened, who watched Crazy Witch A's, and who went to sleep, who didn't. Like, it was just like, I didn't feel like going through that because I need some concrete proof. I need a producer to come up on stage at this point and say what the fuck going on, and I probably wouldn't even believe them either. That's how I feel. We finna talk about that in just 1 second, Natasha Cooper. We finna talk about that. Lisa is in her own world. She sure did. I said, okay, now you showing you from Oakland, Brownwood. Now you showed it. Yes, now you showed it. Natasha Cooper said Lisa's she is like, y'all, that's a part of delusion. I don't know. Like, to me, I feel like this is going to be Dr. Wendy Osefo Jr. here. I said it first here on my channel. I feel like there's some shit that's going to come out because the way she's acting is giving Wendy. Like, it really is. Without the dramatics and the whole theatrics, Heather, yep, very much so. Very much so. Fan thinks Bronwyn might be bi because of her chemistry with Whitney. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me. Agree. They regress back to high school cafe. They do, and it's so annoying, especially Heather. And Heather is, if I'm not mistaken, I think Heather is older than almost everybody except for Mary. I think Mary's older than Heather, and maybe Meredith too. I think Meredith is older than Heather as well. But Heather is one of the oldest ones on here. For her to sit up here and do all of this, she's too old for that shit. Like she is, regardless of if you older than 30, you too old to be doing what Heather is doing on the show. I'm gonna put it that way. Don't Keywan. Now, this is why y'all subscribe to Keywan's page. This is why y'all do this. Everybody that's in here, and even the people who are watching but not commenting, click my description box and click on Keywan_J_TV's page. This is the banter you're going to get, and you're going to love every minute of it. I promise you, she gonna keep you in stitches. When I tell you I broke a dish or washed the dish was watching her, because that shit was so fucking funny. I don't know what she was talking about, but Keywan, you made me break a dish. I gotta go to go get some more. Heather is definitely a pick me, but the CL girls, y'all see how she licked on to Angie, Bronwyn, and Mary. Oh yeah. She, you know why she didn't want to align with Bronwyn? Because Bronwyn secretly lives the life that Heather wants. That's why she didn't click on the Bronwyn, because Heather does give me that jealous ass, how you get a man to get you with no prenup? Because I think Heather had to sign a prenup when she married her husband. So she goes, how you get a man to get you no prenup? She kept sticking on that no prenup shit. So I do think it's that. But now she on Bronwyn's ass now that there's cracks in that marriage. Okay. Heather's, yeah, absolutely. After the black eye, I can't believe their stories without evidence. It's getting like that, and that's unfortunate because I don't think we're ever going to get evidence like that. Bonita Barbie said Mary looked good and she's not laid on the table. It's a natural good look for her. Yeah, but I want Mary to get rid of them fucking gloves. I'm tired of seeing them, because she didn't wear them gloves at least 2 or 3 times in this season. I'm tired of seeing them gloves. Heather's always seeking approval. She wasn't given by anyone in her life. She thirsts for it. Shrek be hungry. Oh, not y'all calling her Shrek. Damn. You know what's funny? I thought after I getting to know you more, Keywan, I do think you are shy, but you are funny as hell. I'm sorry. You be funny. You is funny. Heather got fetishes. Let's not. Oh, yeah. I forgot about that because I might get mad all over again, y'all. Yes, you clutched at Lisa and Heather were jealous. I believe Lisa is too. Absolutely. So anyway, we're gonna move on. So it's about Bronwyn segment. So Bronwyn segment, we have to cover a few things. So Muzzy's reception on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So Bronwyn described it as it being a push and pull relationship. When Muzzy was talking about her child and how she had to look after Bronwyn's child because she was scared she was going to foster care and all these different things, and how she really was ashamed that Bronwyn got pregnant at such a young age without being married. There was a lot of things that tied back to the Mormon religion that Bronwyn was able to connect, the dots of. But she said that people were not nice when Muzzy came on TV. People were saying horrible things about her. And when Muzzy watched it back, she had to talk to Bronwyn about it because she was, do you really think this of me? Do you really think that I behave this way and stuff like that? And I'm going to say it like this. I do believe that their religion does play a huge part in Muzzy's behavior towards her children. But as I said if y'all go back and watch my, I don't know what episode that Muzzy appeared on, but I said that I felt like, to me, it's amazing how you always run to the child who you shun to get you about your situations when you get old, instead of running to them other daughters that you glorified. It's awfully convenient that Bronwyn and Todd have to be the one to pay for shit. And then, but where was the other kids? I guess Bronwyn didn't mention nothing about the other kids when it came to Todd moving y'all out, moving y'all in her house. I said that because, and I say that to say that I don't like when parents do this. I don't like when parents ostracize a kid because you don't relate to those kids in any way, and then you make them feel bad about themselves, but then turn around when you get old, then you definitely need them at a point where but you can't call on the other ones you glorified. Okay. And I don't know that she can't call on the other ones she glorified, but I don't see her with them. So, here Here's to say. But we got word that, and I think this actually hit the blogs earlier on, that, Bronwyn's dad unfortunately did pass when the season was airing. So we, send a big, RIP to Bronwyn's father. Is there anything else I want to mention? Outside of that? No, I think that's it. So, Mrs. Best, I have a question for you. Do you think that the reception to Muzzy and how the viewers portrayed her, with the comments and everything, do you think that that was out of line, being that this is someone's mama?
No. I could be someone's mama. Some of the worst of the worst is somebody's mama. Monica's somebody's mama, since these ladies think she's the devil. Hell, I mean, what does that mean? Diddy sitting in jail for some nasty shit. He's somebody's daddy. Just because you're a parent does not make you special. It doesn't. It just doesn't. The only person that you're special to is the child that you have birthed, and maybe some friends and loved ones if you have them. So I definitely don't think that just because she's someone's mama, someone needed to change their opinion or fix it for her. Now, I'm not a person that you ever gonna catch online, like coming for people I don't know and just watch on TV. Like, we could say our opinions and stuff, but you ain't got to go online and be just calling the lady all types of names and doing the most. So I think that's the line. But honestly, Bronwyn talked about her mama worse than the fans did coming on. And yes, it's her experience, so she can speak on her parent, but Bronwyn is not stupid. She's very savvy. She comes from a world of business. She comes from a world of marketing, separate from her spouse. So she definitely understands the impact that could have happened from how she talked about her mom. So, and she still said things that weren't the most positive at the reunion. So with Bronwyn, I'm just kind of like, I don't really want to hear about Muzzy anymore. And they have a cast filled in with religion. They have a cast involved in religions that are questionable, because not all Pentecostal churches move the way Mary's does. I don't give a damn what y'all saying in the comments. They just don't. And the Mormon church is shady as well. The Jewish religion has been under scrutiny recently due to current events in the world. So it's interesting that this show like shies away from talking about religion and things like that, unless for the most part it seems like they're attacking Mary or each other for how they are. It gets kind of annoying. But yeah, Bronwyn, don't bring your mom on the show if you don't want nobody to comment. It's that simple.
I agree with
because people ain't never gonna act right.
I 100% agree with that. I'm also going to say this. Hold on. Let me read the comments first, because I'm going to get into her and Todd in just a second here. DM Rocks, thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Brittany is the oldest. She is 54. Oh. Okay. Interesting. And she act like this. Okay. I thought she was a little bit younger than that, but okay. Hey. Nia Green, Bonita Barbie, she said, Heather's a weird chick. She over there with the craziness makes me think she's bad in bed. Why can't she get a man? I'm gonna leave this comment alone, because I was finna go somewhere that I did not need to go, because I know plenty of men who would sleep with Heather.
Better not. I just think of Nip Tuck. I don't know if y'all remember that show when he put that paper bag on that girl's head and then told her to bend over. To me, if a man got to get his rocks off, he's going to get his rocks off. You could turn Heather around and be seeing a whole nother bitch.
Yes, that's what I was going to say, but I didn't want to say it like in that disrespectful way, because these are women, of course. They talk about Mary Church or that Mormon church. I mean, watch Heather's documentary. They'll tell you all you need to say right there, because that shit was crazy. And thank you, Bonita Barbie, because that's where my mind went. Because there's no way she is that old and that fucking immature. Something definitely happened. And I need to know Brittany's. I want to know Brittany's backstory. I do. I'm curious now. I really am. They always talk about Mary's church with them. Yes, absolutely. Who goes against their child for a church? That ain't why she went against her child. If you talking about Brittany Natasha Cooper, that ain't why she went for. That ain't why she got away from her child. No, 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 no.
The reason is still equally as bad, though. She
Yeah, the
pretty much,
reason is
instead of Jesus, it was for some dick.
yeah,
Which is even worse
exactly.
because as a Mormon, she shouldn't have really been sitting on dick until she was remarried. But you know, Brittany, that's why they need to switch up the cast. They need some people on there who won't give a fuck about her tears, like Mary.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Muzzy. She's saying Muzzy for who gave up their kid for the church.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I was gonna say that because we were talking about Brittany, and I'm thinking, okay, thank you for clarifying that. Let me see here. Mary being the one preaching and having no credentials is a suspicious element. I've seen my first ladies preach before, so that one wasn't too out of the ordinary for me. Now, I don't know if they have a regular pastor in there. I don't know how her church works. I have never been to her church. I haven't seen it online or anything. And then from what we saw on the TV show, Robert Sr. is supposed to be the bishop. I haven't seen him there either. So I don't know. I don't know how that works. I just don't know. Every church runs differently, so I can't tell you. It's like I can vent on my mom, but I don't want no one else to. Yeah, that's exactly how Brown went. Hi, Delightful Don. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you.
TV. She needs to if you got that mindset, don't bring her on TV. Like I would never bring my parents on television.
Okay, so yeah, Heather. Yeah, so Heather is one of the older ones here. Okay, so I was right. I knew Mary and Meredith were older than her. Got it. So yeah, I was right. And when my assessment, I didn't know her and Angie were just saying, "Oh, that makes sense. They went to high school together." Okay, but yeah, I knew she was older than the other half of the cast. I did know that. It's okay. We got you, Delightful Don. Don't worry about that. Natasha Cooper, I'll be 54 February 4th, and they look old compared to me. Thank you, God, for us. Oh, okay. Yeah, we got you, Muzzy. Yeah. Brittany was dropped on her head a few times. Naya. I do too. And I think more people should be like that. Like, if I don't fuck with you, I don't fuck with you. Like, I can be in the same space as you. I could be cordial. Don't say nothing to me. Don't, because I think there was one point that Brittany did thank Mary for being there for her. But like Heather said, it was in the pastor way because you didn't deserve what happened to you if what happened to you happened to you. Because we still don't know yet. So, yeah. But we get to Bronwyn and Todd. So Bronwyn announces, that her and Todd are now separated. Todd and her, had some banters, and then Todd went and got him a Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and was reading comments, went on Reddit, read his comments, went on every other thing he could find, watched the show back. And, his response to Bronwyn is, do you really think I'm this way? Do you really think I don't hear you? Do you think I don't do eye contact with you? Do you think I'm, belittling? It was really a lot of questions asked to Bronwyn. Do you really think I'm this way? And it was all like, if you have to ask that, then you already have your answer. I always tell people, if you have to ask a question of, do you think I'm really this way? You have your answer. Because why would it be brought up in conversation if you didn't do it? So, yes, I do think there is a sentiment here, and I've said this before. I do think there is a sentiment of when you marry an older person, realize that they have already lived the life you're currently living. So when they do that, there is this screen of, I know better because I've already lived the life you live. A lot of older people, I'm not going to say old people, older people live in that mindset when they marry somebody younger, which is 9 out of 10, or I'm going to say not 9 out of 10. A lot of the reasons why they marry somebody younger who may not have much of experience is because they can either groom them to do what they want them to do, or they can either, manipulate their minds to thinking, well, I've already did this, so this is how it's going to go. And that's why a lot of them get stuck in these kind of relationships. I don't think that that's so much Whitney and Justin, but I do believe that is Mary and Robert Sr., and I do believe that that's also Bronwyn and Todd. I do think that there's that, unconventional love that really isn't normal. But I think Bronwyn would also need an approval. I do think that there's daddy's issues, of course, and usually you see people with daddy issues marry people older than them. Same thing with men who marry women that are older, mama issues, that all exists. So to me, I felt like them being on the show magnifies those issues, because you can't really, like, because when you're having a conversation or when you're having a banter, really it is a singular experience. And that's why when people have to reflect and go back and process the conversation and think, oh damn, okay, that's really what happened. So to have a camera in front of you, the camera is doing that. The camera is panning on those issues that you can't really see, having that singular experience when the conversation is between you two. So having that camera there is the outside looking in to see, oh wow, that's how he looks at me. Oh wow, that's how he talks to me. Oh wow, I'm now seeing it in real time. So when Brahma said the show did not break them up, I disagreed with her. And I'm not saying, I'm saying this as my opinion. I'm not saying because I'm in the marriage with him or anything. I'm saying in my opinion, I don't think that is true. I think you saw what you needed to see, and it confirmed in your mind that these were his ways and they probably were never going to change. And I wish she would have been honest about that, but I think she in some way is trying to protect him. And I feel like that's her right, because that's still her husband. But I don't know, for me, I feel like I think the show definitely broke them up, or I think they were already heading there and the show just sealed the deal for them. That's my opinion. Mrs. Best, how did you feel about Bronwyn and her, response of her Todd separating, and if the show really did break them up?
I don't think that a show can break up a marriage. I think that with marriage, what people don't understand is when you get to the point of separation, it's usually because there's been problems going on for years. When you get to the point of divorce, especially when you've been married more than 10 years, it's likely because you've been having problems for years. It's not just something that comes out of nowhere. And the show could have been something that could have been the final straw for their marriage, but also it could have been anything else. If she never did this show, it could have been other stuff that they could have had issues with as well. I haven't seen much of a change in Todd since we've met Bronwyn, which leads me to believe he is the way he is. But I think that she was lying. Like you said, I do think she's trying to protect him, just because I can't see in Todd's personality him being somebody who would be looking in Reddit and blogs and magazines for opinions on him, when on camera he gives off, I don't give a damn how these people feel about me. So I don't think that was a piece of it. I think that was Bronwyn like deflecting. I think she may be the person who's more into the blogs and the tabloids and things like that. And I think that how he has been perceived probably confirms some feelings that she's been having about him. But especially the fact that she asked for the separation and not him. Todd gives me, like the comment says, the man that if he want a divorce, he'll just ask you for a divorce. So I definitely think Bronwyn is aware of the audience, and I think she's going to handle it differently from the rest of this cast. And she's going to indirectly address the things that people have been seeing. So, yeah, I don't think Todd wants a divorce, especially with no prenup child. But yeah, they're probably, I don't know. We said this when she was new, when we first met Bronwyn on the live. We said it. She came on the show to get divorced. Me and James clocked that like the moment we met Todd on the show. So it wouldn't surprise me. But honestly, she doesn't need the show to divorce him if there's no prenup.
Yeah.
She actually
was word around the curb is that
him without the show and having no prenup, because then she could get alimony on top of whatever else she would have been entitled to, because she didn't have a job. Now she do.
Yeah. And word on the curb is Todd is worth somewhere around $20 million. So yeah, she didn't need she needed the show to divorce him. She could have did that on her own. So that's why I said I do think that the show definitely put a wider lens on the issues that she already knew of. She just needed that confirmation to see it. And now that she see it, and
I definitely think always seen it. And that's the thing. This isn't the regular situation. Bronwyn is not stupid. I think that Bronwyn knows what she's doing. And I think she's utilizing her new public platform and being on a show
and leaning into that and using that as the reason for a divorce when there's, I'm sure, a whole lot of other reasons for this divorce. And it's kind of a brilliant strategy. So I'm not mad at her, but
Right.
you know, what can we do?
What can we do? Exactly. That is a great point. Let's keep it. Brahma came on the show to divorce, to secure the bag, checkmate, 2 checks. She don't get a whole lot more than that. I'm telling you, you better not have no property nowhere else. Todd is the type to say the divorce came out of nowhere. No, I don't think he's that type at all. I think that he gonna give her exactly what she want, because I don't think he really cares about losing money. I really don't. I don't think he cares about any of that shit. I think that, to me,
a man that will accept no prenup, who's a man that's in business and finance, trust and believe he fully was aware of this as a potential, especially having a younger wife. And I feel like he probably got income and things that she don't know about and the lawyer can't find.
Absolutely. That was what else I was going to say too. I feel like that too. I feel like he definitely Michael Darby for 100%.
Mm-hmm.
The show illuminates what she already, and I do think that. I don't need a camera. I check my husband if he tried it.
Like Dee with Greg, when they was breaking up seasons ago, when Dee looked at Greg, the side of her neck, and put that finger in his face, and he was walking to that damn basement, and she kept on his ass. Okay, now that we will accept, not the Toya stuff.
No, I think, I think there's certain dynamics that, to me, they will go quiet about, and this is one of them, where you have a very huge age gap. I think that people in this relationship tend not to say anything because they don't want to ruffle the feathers, and then probably is one of those circumstances where they know deep down they're not going to win the argument that they're going against. I've seen that too. I've seen a lot of times where people won't even waste their time trying because they know at the end of the day it's going to be running around in circles until they eventually get tired. So I think that that's what we're seeing here. So yes, it just took the veil off. She's forced to see it. Yeah, I think she already saw it. I just think she needed solidified evidence. You know, some people need solidified evidence. Them being on a TV show and having their relationship banter, you never saw them in a joyous moment on the show. You never saw them in, love and bliss. You saw them having issues. You saw them having problems. You saw them constantly coming off of something that somebody said. Like, it was always constantly some type of issue. So I think that she just needed evidence. That's my point on this one. I mean, the cherry on the top is gone, eaten and gone symbolism. Yeah.
I was mad they didn't bring that up because they like to bring up other stupid viral shit on this show. But I felt like him eating that motherfucking cherry should have been brought up because
it did.
But they didn't discuss it enough.
Yeah, they didn't just know because everyone thought the shit was, half of them thought the shit was cute. And the other half of them said, no, that's wrong. And I was on the side. And I think it was Heather that said, no, that's fucked up. That was wrong. And Mary said it was cute. And some about Robert Sr. And I said, Mary, sit down.
Mary,
sit down.
Please don't make me read you, Mary.
Mary, sit down. Because no, that's not. There was nothing.
Mary's got that marriage. They say you never want to compare your marriage to nobody else's marriage, but you really, really, when you in a marriage like Mary, should just sit all discussions relating to couples and couples events and relationships out. Mary shouldn't. She should avoid those conversations.
I agree. Because that wasn't cute at all, Mary. I thought that was, to me, that was the most disrespectful thing you could ever do to me. If I tell you always do something and then I tell you not to do it because I'm looking forward to eating the shit and then you do it anyway, one or two things is gonna happen. I'm gonna turn into Yvette from Baby Boy. Get my goddamn cherry and go get me another one or some shit. I'm gonna turn into that, or I'm gonna walk out. Because if I tell you something, I'm gonna get angry and I'm finna walk out, or I'm finna act a fool. 1 to 2. You guys are funny. Yes. Toya, just disrespectful. Eugene's nuts. She needs the door, period. I keep telling y'all this and y'all don't listen. So I'm gonna say it again. Eugene is the prime example when you marry a lady that is out of your league.
I think you could marry someone that's out of your league and they still treat you right. Because as quiet as it's hard like to see a plug in the face. But I think with Eugene, I think it has to do honestly with his confidence as it relates physically. And I think that a confident man would never deal with a woman who has a mouth as lethal as Toya's. My husband always says that when we're watching Eugene and Toya all these years. He's a Married to Medicine fan, probably because I forced it on him, but he always says that watching them, like, that nigga can't love himself if he got his bitch talking to him all sorts of crazy. But it's true. It's true. The way we allow people to treat us, the things that we accept, it says a lot about how we feel about ourselves. And if he felt better about himself, he would have been nipped it in the bud.
I agree with you. I do think he has low self-esteem.
Y'all not paying the mortgage this month. Shut the fuck up. And she'll be quiet. She'll be quiet.
He's not, and that's why I said usually men who marry women out of their league is usually because they're already naturally insecure. So they're going to do things that are above and beyond just to make sure she's always happy, moving every fucking season and getting these gigantic ass homes, working 2 jobs that are 2 and 5 hours away is not normal. So to me, if you're willing to go that length just to make somebody happy day in a 10-bedroom house, you don't need to be with them.
And
that's how I see it.
The fact that she's okay with you working your body to the bone.
Right. Yes.
Instead of downsizing and having more time with her man. Because if you ask me, I would prefer a smaller house and time with my husband in it. Just saying. But,
my thing is, well, she tried to tell him on the show, but that's just and that's why he looked confused as hell in that scene. Because do you not understand? We got bills to pay. Like, do you know why I'm working these 2 jobs? Because according to Toya, she said this on some interview she did, that she puts the down payment on the house and Eugene pays the bills.
You think that down payment means something, baby? The bills that he's paying every motherfucking month amount to the down payment times 10. Stupid. Actually,
that's what she said. That's
actually stupid. I just be like, this woman has a college degree, and you would never know this by the way that she opened her mouth. You would never know. If the way Toya talked to her man, y'all remember Poetic Justice, that movie with Tupac? I love that movie, by the way. It's one of my favorite movies. But y'all remember with Maya Angelou and the aunties when Tupac was at the
oh, that was my favorite. Yes.
At the barbecue.
Yes.
And the actress, her character was drunk and acting a fool, talking to different niggas, and the aunties was over there judging her. I'll tell you, if that's every older woman watching Toya on TV talk to Eugene, side-eyeing her with potato salad.
Because, baby, let me tell you, I wish there would come a day when I tell you, yes. Yes, agreed. That was rude as hell, baby. You would have went up. I'm telling you, him eating that cherry, I would have forgot we were on camera. I would have forgot and would have acted a fucking fool. Because I know me, if I tell you something and then you disrespect me and do what I told you not to do, we're going to have some problems.
And so he did not give a damn what she said. It went in one ear and out the other.
Yeah, he smiled and laughed at her. It was like, oh, you really disrespectful. Okay. I'm trying to tell you, Naya. I'm trying to tell you. Toya do belittle him. Yes, she does. And that's what Dr. Heavenly be calling up. But everybody get mad at Dr. Heavenly, though. But, it is what it is. Yeah, but true, it's mutual respect, not one way. I absolutely agree. Y'all talking about Toy.
She's on the spectrum. You know what? She
ain't on no damn spectrum. Y'all stop
she
that.
might be. She can't sit still, and she like the way she be at other people's business is fascinating. She's a whole quantitative study waiting to happen.
She is. I agree with that. But at the same time, I just feel like she can't afford like how she lives. Like to me, they live above their means, and that's why they move every fucking year and build house from house to house to house.
I mean, the funeral for the dog could have paid for one of them little boys first semester or 2 at college. But
right.
So we know they don't make good choices.
Yeah.
It's not just her, it's him too.
Yeah, because he could tell to sit her ass down somewhere. Mm-hmm. But she still got the same car from 4 seasons ago, so at least she ain't that crazy. So, but we gonna move on from there because that's neither here nor there. So then we have this, banter of Meredith versus Bronwyn, which I loved, by the way. This is how Bronwyn has been in the Bay Area because Bronwyn wasn't letting shit go. So it comes up about the lunch that Bronwyn had with Whitney and Mary, and how they all just said that they were concerned, and once again Bronwyn brought up to Meredith what happened at lunch because Meredith asked about it, and Meredith said she did not ask Bronwyn. She just said, how was lunch? And Bronwyn said, no, Meredith, that is not what happened. And you're not going to fucking play me like this. You asked me specifically what was said at lunch. You're not going to do this to me, Meredith, you're not going to do this. I'm sick of, I was a good friend to you, Meredith. I was a really good friend. I even got my neck rang out when you outed me after I done told you some shit and fucked up my relationship with the other ladies on behalf of you. I was a good friend for you. And she goes, Meredith, I didn't do any of those things. I didn't tell you to do any of those things. Well, and she said, that's really convenient for you because there was no cameras rolling. So I have no fucking proof that you did it. And then you want to bring it on camera to further embarrass me. It's very good, Meredith. It's very, very good. And she goes, how did you feel when you guys talked about my husband? Brahma said, my husband get talked all up and through here. Meredith said, I never talked about your husband. She goes, no, but your bestie did, and you didn't do shit to diffuse the situation. So there you have it. I wanted to be as good a friend to you as you should have been to me, but you weren't, Meredith. And babe, Meredith was stoned. She couldn't say nothing because it's the truth. To me, I felt like I believe Bronwyn. I did. The only problem that I have with Bronwyn is you can't trust people like Meredith. And you've seen plenty of examples of how Meredith are with these other women to think that she wouldn't use you in the same capacity. Meredith has no loyalty to nobody with the exception of maybe Lisa. So to think you actually had some inward with this woman when you know you didn't, I can't blame nobody but Bronwyn for that because you shouldn't have fell for the okie doke. You should have stayed neutral and see how this shit would have played out. But what she did was she used you as a pawn to get information on the other lady so then she could then use it and then turn around and flip the shit back on you. So yeah, she ate Meredith up. She ate Meredith a good one, y'all. And it was a good read. I said, yes, get her, Bronwyn. Because she wasn't backing down. She wasn't saying, she said, sit the fuck there.
And this is why we need a cast shakeup and to get rid of some of the ladies who are here. Because why the fuck has it taken 6 seasons for somebody to read Meredith for filth? And Jen Shah don't count. Because all Jen Shah did when she was on the show was scream. She literally just screamed. That's all I heard with Jen Shah. So I appreciate Bronwyn for reading her for filth because, baby, when she said to Meredith, don't come at me with the bullshit in your word salad, I said, yes.
Get her.
Exactly. And it proved right there. People who like to take their time, use the biggest words, all of that, oftentimes those are the people who are the least intelligent when it comes to actually having a conversation. If you got to use big words and sound fancier than you really are to make yourself feel better in a conversation, you're just making yourself feel better. You're not doing anything but getting on everybody else's nerves. And Meredith, how necessary, again, I'm sorry, y'all, I just don't feel like Meredith should be a housewife on any show. Like, she has moments where she's interesting, but I just have never felt she's interesting enough to be a housewife. And this, to me, solidified it. Because you got read for filth. She didn't even try to rebuttal it. She just sat there.
She couldn't. She couldn't rebuttal that.
She couldn't, but like, at least try something. I'm so tired of her disengaging. Because it's like, my God, when proven wrong, you disengage. When proven right, you disengage. When confronted with something, you disengage. When you did you can leave at your event, the person laughed at you, you didn't leave. So what you do, you disengage from your own shit. Like, Meredith has high expectations for people. She can't fulfill none of the expectations that she has for others if they had them for her. And she doesn't do well with confrontation. She just does not do well with confrontation. And if you cannot handle confrontation, you were probably a shitty ass lawyer, which is probably why you're not fucking practicing no more. And you're definitely not going to do well on a show like this. She's not. I'm tired of this lady.
So DM Rox's comment. Okay, so it's Bronwyn that's confirmed, Meredith that's confirmed. DM Rox, if you're still in here, did anybody get fired? Or did not get a contract for a main cast member? Because I know that we knew that Lisa, Mary, Whitney, and Bronwyn were already safe to come back next season. And now that we know Meredith is safe as well. So is Heather safe? Is she coming back? I need to know this now. Is Angie coming back? I think Angie was on that list. I think Angie was. So who the fuck are they getting rid of? Just Heather? I mean, I'm grateful if that's the case, but it seems like they're not getting rid of anybody, which
They
is
need
gonna,
they need
going to annoy me.
they
That's
need
going
to,
to annoy
because
me.
this lady is overrated for television. I just don't feel like you should be on a reality show if you can't ever engage with conflict, like ever.
I agree. It's annoying.
Why are you here? And then when she does engage, she screams, melts, and then leaves. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I want to like Meredith though. I do, because I actually like her family, but except for her husband, I don't like Seth.
So my Naya say if they keep the same cast, I wonder what will happen. Mary's documentary is going to come up like crazy.
That's all.
That's all that's on. That's all that's going to happen.
It's going to be the same thing if they keep the same cast, because Mary's son has a road to go. He's struggling with sobriety and other stuff that you don't just overcome overnight or with one jail stay. And then the stuff with her church, I think now that they finally got some traction, the people involved in the documentary, they're not going to stop. They're just not. They're just going to keep the same drama going.
Yeah. So y'all can let me tell y'all, her church is about to be the number one topic of next season. I can already see it. I need more. I don't care about Mary's church once again. Y'all can go to Mrs. Best page and listen to us react and see where we stand with the documentary. It didn't prove anything to me. I'm sorry, it did not prove anything.
You know, I don't like that people are doing that. I understand those sticking for, like, we don't want to come for Mary, but we do have to acknowledge that while her church may not be a cult, they definitely financially took advantage of their members, and that's not okay, and that's not honest, and that is not the Christian way to do things. So I think that it's important to acknowledge that with any time that topic does come up, because you're right, you're probably gonna have to talk about it a lot next season, especially if they keep the same cast. Even if they don't keep the same cast, if they keep Mary, they're going to talk about the church.
Absolutely. You don't think Lisa is finna bring that shit back up? Lisa already was mad as hell at Mary.
Lisa will be quiet before somebody does a real background check on her and her husband.
She would want to, but like that's exactly what's about to happen. And I do agree with this. I do agree that I feel like for a lot of people, it made, because y'all have to understand, this is shit that we already heard about, and they should have did this in season 1 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and maybe that would have had more weight bearing to it. But because we've gotten to know her, and then we got to learn about the businesses that surround the church that she has, it's kind of like, okay, well then y'all are saying the church funds her lifestyle, and I said, y'all, that would be impossible. It would be impossible for that little bitty church
to have an organization as big as like
Joel Osteen. Yeah.
Not even Joel Osteen, for the type of wealth. Like if people really look up her net worth, like she would need a lot more than even he got to do stuff. Like church, yeah, people can make money. Yeah, the building fund to me is a sham at most churches. However, they're still not bringing in what
Mary needs for that lifestyle. And then I heard her Google network ain't even true. That is actually more than that. You gotta
think too. These people was in the documentary talk about they pull from 401ks to be able to give to her church. You can only pull so much from your 401k. So she ain't getting all of that. Now Robert Sr. might be living off the church. Yeah, that's another thing.
That's another thing. I didn't believe this story even when she said it. I didn't believe that. So when they said it in the documentary, I was like, okay, I still don't believe that.
No God-fearing woman would tell her husband, who is an adult, to marry her granddaughter, who was a child at the time. Even a child, a toddler at the time that they like. I don't think that her grandmother did that. I think, unfortunately, her grandmother,
especially when the grandmother had reservations about marrying the man her damn self. So,
exactly. I don't think the grandmother is. I think the grandmother gets looped in, and God rest her soul, because she can't rest because she's pulled into all of this bullshit and the lady ain't even living. But I don't think that she would do that. I just don't.
What the fuck is the minimal payment? Why this is child? People do a lot of crazy things to be up in church. I tell you, it's the strangest thing. But that goes to Old Testament times. Like when you guys think about, you know, the times in the 50s and 60s and 70s when people really were in church like that, that was actually a common thing. You know, they took that tithes and offering thing to a whole nother level because people are going to listen to a man. In those times, men had dominant power. So they're going to listen. So when a man tells you in the 60s and 70s, give me $120, you're going to find a way to get him that $120. And those practices are still happening today. It's just now that people are still a bit more liberal and now things and people are really going to church as much. Like the pandemic, like churches attendance records have been at a high time low now because people watch churches at home and they gotten used to virtual church now and they don't really donate as much because you're not as obligated to do it because they can't turn church service off of your TV. So people are starting to do that. So that's why churches a lot of times do have a little bit of a lower retention rate now. So yeah. Why does Mary all of a sudden want to be on the show? The first second she wouldn't even travel with them. Second season, I understood why she didn't, because they were on bullshit, all of them, when it came to Mary on second. Now that first season,
gets a pass for that season with Jenny. I will give Mary a pass for not coming back after that. But after that, I do think it is strange that she suddenly wants to be on television. Everyone was so busy being upset at the documentary that there were some things within it that actually were factual and useful. And it wasn't just surrounding the accusations of her because we knew about that, but like some of the dots that they connected did kind of make sense. Mary should have to answer for some of what she's done, and just instead of saying it's all lies, because we've got you on audio, on video, there is proof to some of these lies. It's not okay to be asking people for this amount of money, especially when you have.
They call them stingy. Yep.
Yeah, but when you have income coming in from other sources that will keep you and your husband rich separate from the show. I also agree with Natasha. I do think that's why her son is the way that he is.
I agree with that too.
There's something just not godly, no shade, when Mary Cosby come on the screen. There's something dark and vexed in her spirit, whatever the hell it is. I don't know, but kids that grow up with the good life that she tried to give him don't just go towards drugs and alcohol and crime to do it. Like something had to happen to him, and I don't know why, but I feel like Robert Sr. allegedly could be part of the cause of his trouble.
I feel like, and that's another thing to me, I feel like I need more backstory because and the reason why I say I need more backstory on their marriage is because Mary lived in New York while her son was being raised. Like she had a whole penthouse in New York. I think she lived in the same building that Andy lived in. That's how they knew each other. So I'm like, I need more backstory because first it was she was
schools out there.
No, she moved. She moved there too. No, she lived in New York for a long time.
I know, but her son went to school in New York. No,
he did.
Yeah. So
that's what I'm saying. Like I feel like
to me, parent, I think the dad is the problem. I really
do too. So I think for me, I feel like, but she never said her and Robert Sr. moved to New York. She said she did. So that's why I feel like for me, I need more backstory because I feel like maybe Robert Sr. wasn't as present.
Duh.
That's probably maybe he wasn't as present. You think that's what it is?
Hello, ding dong. I have been saying this since this lady has come on TV. Duh. You can't. I think, of course not.
But the way she make Robert Sr. sound, she make Robert Sr. sound like he a saint.
Of course, she's gonna make him sound like a saint. When if I was married to the devil, I'd be trying to make him look like an angel too. Of course, it's true. It's true. It's the truth. What woman wouldn't? It's the absolute truth. What you gonna just go out here and expose and be like, oh, my husband's awful, he's this or that? No, she came on this show concerned with making herself look a certain way. Robert Sr., even when he did participate a little bit in season 1, has never been present. I don't think he will ever be present. And I'm just saying, a nigga that'll marry a baby that he knew when she was 3 years old and he was an adult in his 20s, that's a sick motherfucker. So I'm sure it's a lot of stuff going on.
Rose City, you really thought that Robert Sr. was a saint?
Oh no.
Oh no. I knew he was the problem the entire time. Because we don't see him at all, it was hard to prove that. So when the documentary came out, I was like, okay, finally. Because I always thought it was him. I think she has a part, I do. But I don't think that she's solely responsible for everything. I don't. I think it's majority of him. I do. I don't think that was out at the time. I think maybe that had came out when he was in his last year of high school. But I don't think
But
that was
honestly,
ever.
you can
Yeah, I
see
don't
the
think.
age gap looking at Mary and them. If Mary came to school and to drop me off with Robert Sr. and my friends seen it, they would think that was Pawpaw, not my daddy. And another thing, she sent him to some of the best schools. I am actually a kid. I grew up in East Oakland. My parents sent me to private school because the public schools, okay, Elmhurst and Parker Elementary was not for me, apparently. So they sent me to a better school or whatever. And those kids were cruel. Like some of the kids who had single parents that was just rich, or kids that had divorced parents who I went to private school, they would tease them for that. They would absolutely tease them. So that is very well what Natasha said, a possibility that he could have been teased for his situation, especially with the wigs Mary used to wear. I know he got teased. I know if my mama showed up in a wig like that, oh, I'm fighting. Just saying.
I mean, yeah, but I don't know. But I feel like next season they're definitely going to. It's about to be all about Mary's documentary, the things that were said. They're going to pick right back up of what they did with season 2, and it's going to be crazy.
If they don't, Mary can go, because I need her here for more than just fun little puns. I feel like Mary, Kyle Richards, Karen Huger, Marisol Payton over on Housewives of Miami. I feel like these are all housewives that like don't really give shit. Heather Gay, like, if y'all not gonna talk about what's really going on in your life, you feel me, you can go respectfully, please.
So let me ask you a question, because Mary has been profusely saying that this is lies. Would it behoove her to prove that they are lies, like everything is a lie on this documentary in this next season? Like whatever somebody bring her drop a receipt. Would you want to see that?
Honestly, no. Because in my opinion, Mary's church has been exposed. Yes, it had culty aspects to it, but as someone who has actually studied and gotten a degree and had to understand cults to a certain extent, I don't feel like it fully identifies as a cult. I just kind of feel like at this point, if people choose to still deal with her congregation, which barely be open anyway, that is a choice. But I do feel like if she's going to continue to have her church and run her church, address it. But I don't want to talk about the allegations constantly. I would rather her show us the good in her church, if there's that, or I would rather her show us her relationship. But it's like, we don't see your husband, we can't see your kid, you just telling us stuff is lies even though you're on camera. So she better go back to calling these hoes inbred or something, because I'm getting bored.
Okay, so we need Mary to do a few things next season. We need Mary to, kind of stand in either the truth of what her church is or disprove the rumors around them. We need to see Robert Sr. again, so she need to bring Robert Sr. back on the show. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, bring him back.
In the chat, do y'all want to see Robert Sr. again? Like, I just want to know. I just want to see where people are, because honestly, we know Robert Sr. We know who Robert Sr. is. Like, it's not like we don't know who he is. And he said for them disrespecting and calling her a grandmother MFer, like Mary would say, a grandpa MFer, that's why he doesn't want to be on the show. So, okay, so Rose City said worse.
People have said far worse to Robert Sr. I'm sure the allegations and the talk in the street about Robert and Mary, just based off of that church, are terrible. People have said worse. And honestly, that documentary really went over alleged abuse by Robert Sr., alleged larceny by Robert Sr., alleged child molestation, allowed all these nasty things that were in that documentary were alleged toward him. So she has to kind of put Paw back on the screen, because Miss Mary, are you sleeping with a man that's abusing kids and stealing from the congregation?
I don't feel like, to me, I hate to put her business out here like this. Like, I hate to even put that out there. I feel like they only did that one time to get that boy, and that's it. And I feel like she cut it. I feel like she cut it off out of it. She put a key on. I feel like
when she was younger, because when she got with him, she was younger, and she was a cute girl. And when he wasn't like old, and still had some type of look to him. So I feel like at some point they probably did wound up getting some type of an attraction to each other. But I don't know. I just need to see the dynamic.
Yeah,
Mary,
me too.
give us more. Are you a victim or are you just as bad as him?
I feel like it's both. I do feel like it's both. I feel like it started as a manipulation, and it's rooted into it. Probably turned to how the prey becomes the predator situation. You understand? Like we talk about that comment.
Mhm.
I think it's that. I think that at one point she probably was preyed upon and then ended up becoming what she once was.
Because Mary didn't just do a flip. The documentary did show that she was on a bad path. She had a husband. She's always been materialistic. She was acting a fool. She got banished from the church and is now the pastor. So Mary wasn't an angel. Then I'm like, oh, that just magically disappeared when your grandmother.
I never thought she was an angel. She gave me every bit of First Lady, her first season on the show. That was every bit of a First Lady that I have known. Like sometimes the only time I had a different perception is when I went to my dad's church because the First Lady was very sweet. But my grandma, when I was coming up, that First Lady was exactly like that, mean and just
I'm just saying in terms of the switch, like to go from being a delinquent that was so bad that your family, your church had disowned you, and then your grandmother passes and now suddenly you're married to her husband, you're preaching in a church and you're suddenly okay. Like I feel like something dark went on with them too somewhere, because she didn't just randomly become this beautiful person when she was with allegedly the devil for all that time while young and impressionable. So I think you're right with the predator versus prey stuff.
That's because that's what it gives to me, and I think that's what Whitney meant, but it just came out wrong because Whitney did allege this in season 2. So, and I think that I think Whitney just said it wrong, because when I saw the documentary and saw everything, and I already had an idea about this already, I was like, oh, okay, I see the mentality here, and that can happen, y'all. We see a lot of people in today's time talk about the abuse they went through and then end up giving that abuse to other people. So it's definitely a thing. It's definitely in our psychology, of the animalism that we originate from, dating back to before human times. So she does, and that's the problem, and that's why I couldn't really get with her with that, because I said, Whitney, I know what you were trying to say, you just said it fucking wrong. You just idiot.
Her timing. I think this is the example of Whitney, Lisa back then, especially when Whitney confronted Mary about everything. It's like that was the time that Whitney was, in my opinion, too involved with YouTubers and bloggers.
Yeah.
Who talk about the show. And so she was doing their dirty work and it came off wrong. She has to learn how to subtly drop hints to stuff.
Yes.
If Whitney could learn how to read, she would be perfect for the show. Because I always liked Whitney. But she
lost me after season 4, season 3 or season 4. She lost me after that because she got annoying, and I was like, oh no, I can't deal with you. The last time Mary talked about her and Robert Sr., I didn't see any live, just Mary for a love. Okay, I didn't see any love, just Mary for convenience. Mary needed a new man, period.
She didn't have her church. She didn't have nothing. She wasn't cool with her mom at the time. And her grandmother had died, and that was the only person who seemed to have any type of empathy for her. So it does make sense that she would marry for convenience.
Oh yeah, I think it's convenience because all the businesses are thriving. Now it's convenience, but I think in the beginning stages, I don't think it was convenience at all. I think it was like you said.
She him to go to the upper room.
She could take over the crab shack.
There were the divorce rumors and all of that, and then those just went away. I think she waiting on him to go to the upper room. He probably need to cancel.
That's why I never believed him, because women like Mary don't divorce their husbands. Like they don't just divorce, because that would mean she would have to give 50-50 on everything. And to me, what is 50-50 where you can get 100% out of it? Like, I want 100% of my crab shack. I want 100% of my mortgage company. I want 100% of my 4 beauty salons. I want 100% of my daycare that they keep leaving bad reviews on. I want 100% of everything. And I want 100% of the church my grandmother built. I want 100% of everything. So yeah, I feel like, and I heard that too. And she actually said that herself, that they sleep in separate rooms. So yeah, I don't think that their marriage. I think it's definitely convenient.
Sleep next to his old ass too. I love my nana, but I'm not in the bed with her. But I don't blame her for that. Show though.
Yeah, it is a business arrangement. I do. I think it's 100% business. I do believe the thing with Cameron. I do believe that. I just, I just think that it is a marriage, and she waiting for it. Like Mrs. Best said, she just did an interview late last year talking about her and Robert Sr. celebrated like 27 years of marriage or something like that. That's her best friend. She loved him and everything, saying all kind of positive things about him. But yet we don't see that, and you don't show up on Real Housewives of it.
You can't even post a picture with your man, girl. Bye.
Right? They don't have any pictures together. I just realized that they don't
post a picture with your man. Talk about you so in love, bitch. Better have a photo like mine. Post it. Ain't no Christmas pictures. Ain't nothing. No family photo. Not even a holiday card. Shit.
Not one with the puppy. Not one with your son. Nothing. That just it's business. Ain't nothing wrong with it per se if it was a regular relationship. But he is close. I mean, I don't want to say that because he's still a person at the end of the day, and. He running from something.
Just leave it there. It's just proof that you can be rich, but let me tell y'all, psychologists, clinicians, counselors, they will tell you a kid does not need to be rich. Money and materialism and your baby having the nicest pair of Air Force Ones and all these things are not going to help them to do well in life and to be great with their mental health. It's how you spend time with them and what you do for them. Because this boy had everything growing up and was well prepared, but he is hurting. He's definitely
hurting, and I hope he gets it together before he has to take over the empire. And I hope he doesn't sell the empire. Like, to me, I hope he does keep Mama's legacy alive. I hope that when it comes to be his turn, that he's prepared to do that and not do what the other descendants of rich people do, which is sell all their shit for the quick money. I just hope that that's this. I'm glad you subscribed to me, Bonita Barbie. I hope to see you again real soon. The next live I will have on my channel. Oh, I'm getting rid of this show. I won't have anything on my channel, but tomorrow, I should have put the link up here. I'm slipping. Me and Mrs. Best are starting a collab channel where you guys will just get the personal side of us, not the review recap life of us. We are going to put that together, and tomorrow we'll be doing kind of like an introductional live so you guys can get an idea of who we are. We're going to play some fun games. We're going to have a lot of fun. So it is tomorrow night. It's going to be 5 o'clock Pacific time, 6 o'clock Mountain time, 7 o'clock Central time, and 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are available and want to see that, please join us. We will engage with you guys. But we're going to have fun, and you're going to learn. And we'll probably learn something in almost the 20 years that we have been friends. We're probably going to learn something new about each other that we probably didn't know. So that's going to be exciting. So we appreciate you guys and hope you guys stop by. I will post the link in my community board if you guys aren't aware of it. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll see it on both of our pages. So please subscribe to that channel. Get us going. We're trying to make these things realities, y'all. We try. It's hard, but we're going to do it. We're going to stick to it. Thank you, Mrs. Best, for being here, and I will see you guys on my next live. Bye-bye now.